everybody. Today I'll talk mainly the utilization of CO2 via reforming and hydrogenation, which is typical R&D work I am doing in my laboratory. The first is CO2 reforming. Uh, I have done two types of reforming. One is CO2 reforming with methane. We call dry reforming. The methane plus CO2 is giving CO and hydrogen. This is a mixture of, we call it synthesis gas. And this is very important reaction because here two greenhouse gas, methane and CO2, combining to give the synthesis gas mixture with almost H2 by CO ratio 1:1. And second is the we call dry reforming, where with this dry reforming, we are adding water and oxygen to give the same synthesis gas mixture, CO to hydrogen, where we can fine tune the H2 by CO ratio depending on which one we want. And we can make it to 2, which is very useful for the methanol synthesis or any downstream utilization. And second is CO2 hydrogenation, where we are using different nanostructure catalyst to get methanol. The reaction is written here, CO2 plus 3H2 giving methanol and water. This is a clean reaction, and this is also exothermic reaction. Now, first is coming the reforming of methane. This is dry reforming. I am showing some of the literature. There are so many literature where people tried at different temperatures, mostly above 450. And the main problem in this process is here the catalyst reacted very fast. To overcome this, you have to prepare a catalyst which is very stable and will give the appropriate H2 by CO ratio. We have prepared two different catalysts. One is nickel magnesium zinc oxide, and we have found that we are getting around 99% methane conversion and 98% CO2 conversion to get around 1:1 synthesis gas mixture of H2 by CO. And the second catalyst is very small amount, 0.5% loaded platinum supported on nickel magnesium oxide. Here support is magnesium oxide. Here also we have found that this catalyst is very stable to get around 99% methane conversion and 98% CO2 conversion. This is the typical characterization of the nickel magnesium zinc oxide. Here you can see the surface area of the nickel. Around nickel is around 5% loaded nickel catalyst is 53.2 meters square per gram. And here nickel is highly dispersed and dispersion value is around 19.6. And from the XRD, you can see that this is a very highly crystalline material. And typical SEM and TM images are shown here. You can see here the nickel nanoparticles can be seen here, which is size around 3 nanometers here. And this is the typical reaction parameter. We have found that the catalyst start giving the activating CO2 and methane at around 450, and with increasing temperature, the conversion is increasing, and we can get almost 100% conversion at 800 degrees centigrade. And if you see here that we have also prepared different catalysts, but for the 5% nickel supported zinc oxide catalyst, where 5% magnesium oxide is there, this is very stable. Right side you can see the catalyst we have done up to 100 hours. There is no deactivation here. But for the other catalyst, it is deactivating very fast. You can see here, even after 1 day, 24 hours, catalyst is deactivating, even 50% conversion is losing its conversion. Now, the second one is reforming over palladium supported nickel catalyst. You can see here, we have prepared highly dispersed nickel nanoparticle in the presence of very 0.5% palladium. We can make the uniform distributor of nickel nanoparticles. You can see here. And here also we have found that this catalyst is very stable. Even up to 200 hours, there is almost no deactivation in this case. But in absence of palladium, you can see it catalyst is deactivating very fast. Now they try reforming. This means CO2 in presence of methane, O2 and water is giving around H2 by CO ratio around 2. Here also there are lots of reports in the literature, but most of the cases the catalyst deactivated very fast. We have prepared a catalyst, nickel supported on zirconium oxide, and we have found that this catalyst is very stable and showing around 98% conversion of methane and 98% conversion of CO2. And this catalyst is very stable even after 100 hours we have studied. We have also granted US patent for this. This is a typical characterization of the catalyst. We can see here that the catalyst from XRD, the catalyst is highly crystalline. And from these TAME images, we can see a very small nickel nanoparticle is supported on zirconium oxide. And here, zirconium oxide is also very spherical shape in nature. And we have found that the morphology of the Spain catalyst is almost similar. That means the catalyst is almost not deactivating due to this, as the catalyst morphology become same after the reaction. This is the reaction. Here also you can see that catalyst started activating around 500 degrees centigrade, and with increasing temperature, the conversion of CO2 and methane increases. And we are getting almost 100% conversion at 800 degrees centigrade. Here also we can see that the right side, the stability, we have done the reaction for 1 day, and we found that for the our PPR catalyst, it is very stable and there is almost no deactivation. But for the conventional PPR catalyst nickel zirconia is showing highly deactivation for this case. Now my second topic is CO2 hydrogenation to methanol. Here also there are several reports in the literature, but most of the cases the selectivity, either selectivity is less or the catalyst deactivated very fast. We have prepared several catalysts and found that our catalyst is very stable, and also our selectivity is very high. Here I am showing 4 different catalysts. One is copper supported magnesium oxide, zinc oxide, which is showing around 9% conversion, and our selectivity for methanol is around 99%. For copper supported on titania, here also we are getting 9% conversion, and our methanol selectivity is 96.3. A very small amount of indium supported on copper on ceria, we are getting around 95% selectivity and conversion around 7.6%. And last one is copper supported on magnesium oxide, aluminum oxide. Here we are getting around 7%, 7.5% conversion of CO2, and our methanol selectivity is 99%. The first one is copper supported on magnesium zinc oxide. Here you can see from the XRD, it is highly crystalline material, and also the crystallinity remain intact during the reaction also. And from the TAME images below, you can see that this is a nanocrystalline material, and copper is formed as a very small copper nanoparticles, which is around 5 to 7 nanometers. You can see it here. Now the here we can see that with increasing temperature, the first one, graph A, you can see that catalyst is giving around 8% conversion at 200 degrees centigrade. But with increasing temperature up to 300 degree, we can increase the conversion. But at the same time, you can see the graph B, the selectivity decreasing. That means with increasing temperature, although we can increase the conversion, but selectivity is decreasing. So here we found that 200 degrees centigrade is the optimum reaction temperature for this catalyst. And we typically use 7,200 ml per gram per hour of space velocity, and our pressure was 30 bar. And we use CO2 is to nitrogen is to hydrogen is 1:3:1. The second one is copper supported on titania. Here also you can see from the XRT that the catalyst is highly crystalline in nature. And now here we loaded around 4.7% copper supported on titania. You can see from the TEM images that the material is nanocrystalline in nature, and the copper particle size around 2 to 3 nanometer. Here you can see. And also the Spain catalyst, after the reaction, you can see that the size remains same. That means catalyst is very stable during the reaction. And this is the activity. We here also we found that at 200-degree selectivity we are getting maximum, but with increasing temperature, although we can get up to 16% conversion, but we are losing the selectivity. That means 200 degrees centigrade is the optimum reaction temperature for this reaction. Here also we use 30 bar pressure, and space velocity was around 5,000 ml per gram catalyst per hour. And here also our feed composition of H2 is to CO2 is to nitrogen 1 is to 3 is to 1. The third one is copper supported on magnesium oxide and alumina. Here also you can see that the catalyst is highly crystalline in nature, and the morphology of the catalyst is shown here. Here you also you can see this is spherical in nature, and also the particle size of the copper is around 5 to 7 nanometer. Here you can see here. And here also the catalyst is very stable during the reaction, and that's why it is not losing its activity. Conversion was constant throughout the reaction. This is the reaction. Here you can see here also with increasing temperature, you can see that although the conversion is increasing, graph A, but you can see that the selective is going down, graph B. That means although we can increase the conversion up to 17%, but at the same time we can lose the methanol selectivity. That means 200 degrees centigrade here is the around 220 is the optimum reaction temperature for this reaction over this catalyst. Here also we use around 7,000 ml per gram catalyst per hour, this feed flow, and the typical CO2 is to hydrogen is to nitrogen was 1 is to 3 is to 1. The last one for the CO2 hydrogenation is very small amount of indium supported on copper and ceria. Here our copper loading was 5% and indium loading was around 1%. Here you can see from the XRD that the catalyst is highly crystalline in nature, and also from the TEM images you can see that this is nanocrystalline in nature, and in presence of indium the copper particle size is around 5 to 7 nanometer, and due to presence of small amount of indium, it is keeping the nanoparticle intact against sintering. Normally it happens that only if there is only copper present, the particle size increases. That means catalyst sinters during the reaction. But in presence of indium, we have found that this catalyst is very stable during the reaction. And you can see here the right side time on stain effect. We have done up to 100 hours and found that this catalyst is not losing any activity, and this is highly stable. We also tested the reaction different temperature, but found that around 200 degree is the optimum reaction temperature for this reaction. Finally, conclusion, the catalytic activity of a catalyst is a combined effect of surface area of the catalyst, support property, active metal property, active metal dispersion, active metal size, and also metal support interaction. Any one of it alone cannot determine the catalytic activity of a catalyst. Controlled deposition of active metal particles creates better metal support interaction with smaller active particles. Synthesis gas with different H2 by CO ratio can be produced by reforming of CO2, where CO2 conversion more than 95% can be achieved using a different catalyst studied in our laboratory. And also we have found that copper supported catalysts produce methanol via CO2 hydrogenation, where we can get around 10% CO2 conversion, and also we can achieve more than 95% methanol selectivity. Finally, I would like to acknowledge my PhD students. Rajiv mainly did the reforming reaction, and Dr. Sachin, he did the CO2 hydrogenation work. And our director and analytical science division for the analysis, my funding agency, CSR, DST, and GAIL India Limited, and my collaborator, Professor Sasaki from University of Tokyo, and Dr. Anna Maria Venezia from Italy. Thank you very much.